Well, good hello to you, and thank you for joining us here at Coolest Life. My name is Tony, and I'm here to take you through some different things I found out about my EV. I've only had about 2,000 miles now, give or take, and but I've learned things about it and some things I kind of took for granted and didn't realize that most vehicles might not have some of these features. I think most EVs may have some of these features, but definitely not most gas cars that are out there today. Maybe they do. So if you have these same kind of features in your car, as I'm showing you in this one here about my Kia Niro EV, just go down below in the comments and put a comment down there and say, yeah, I got those in mind. I've been having them for years. Some of these features are features that I kind of took for granted and didn't really think I even needed. But after using them, it's like, wow, I'm glad I got these features. These are pretty cool. But these are just a few that I found that were very beneficial for me getting on this EV curve that I'm on right now. And quite frankly, as it sits right now, I'll never go back to a gas car unless I at least have one EV. If I only had one car, it'd be an EV. If I got two cars, and I do now, right now I'm still a little apprehensive. So I think one will still be a gas car. But if I had my druthers, the way this EV performs now, I don't think I'll ever go back to gas. Not as my primary day-to-day driver. It just financially makes zero sense. I'm telling you. Watching gas prices go up and down like crazy, I'm not doing that anymore. But anyway, let's go ahead and get into this video because you've just entered the Coolest Life EV edition. So there's a really neat feature in this car. I don't know if gas cars have this. I think almost all electrics have this. It's right here. It's a lane. It keeps you from going off center of the lane and your tires making that noise. So it'll ever so slightly, as you can see, I'm almost at a dead stop. You can ever so slightly turn your wheel if you're starting to drift. It'll turn your wheel back in, and if you do go over for some reason, it'll go beep beep and gives you a noise. So it's really nice. It's one of those you don't know you need it until you start using it, and it's like, wow, that's really a nice feature. It's ever so slightly though. It'll take the wheel back just a little bit. It'll bring you back in line is what it'll do. Now this next one here, did you see it light up right here? That one there is lane centering, and so if you turn it on, you start to drift a little bit. Maybe I can show it to you. I'll start to drift just a little bit. It won't even let me drift. I just tried to make it drift, but it won't. See if it'll drift again. It just put me back. So I'm not even touching the wheel. Now, if I don't touch the wheel in so many seconds, this thing will give me an alert and say, hey, put your hand back on the wheel. And let's see if it's going to do it right. So far, I haven't touched the wheel in about a quarter of a mile. Granted, I'm only doing 40 miles an hour. I'm going pretty slow. Let's see if it'll do it. Make a liar out of me. But anyway, it'll give you a message. Oh, there it is. Put your hands back on the wheel, idiot. So it's kind of a neat feature. Keep your hands on the steering wheel. So now I'll just barely touch it and you can see it goes off. So that's a really neat feature. I'm looking forward to use this on the interstate for a long trip. I haven't taken this car on a long trip yet. I've been mostly in town driving, which is why I don't need those fast chargers, because I charge at home overnight. It's so much cheaper to charge at home. Knowing what I know about electric vehicles now, I should have bought one 10 years ago and at least use it as my primary in-town car, since I've always been a household of two cars. It just doesn't make any sense not to have an electric vehicle as your primary in-town car. It really doesn't. The numbers don't make any sense. Now, another thing that this car features is adaptive cruise control. I know I'm driving in the sun, so I'm gonna set my cruise control. I'm gonna set it for 50 and a 45. Maybe I should do a little less than that. But the neat thing about it is, if this car in front of me is going less then I want to go, watch this. It's going to automatically slow down, and it's going to match. I have not touched my brake or anything, and yet the car is slowing down. I'm slowing down to 45. It's going to match their speed, so I don't have to come off the gas. I don't have to brake my cruise, and then when I speed up here, like right now, it's probably going to speed up some, and it did. It sped up just as I went around him, even though I was coming up to a stop. And I'll show you more in just a second. We'll see if it picks up speed. I don't know if it'll pick up speed from a dead stop or not. I would think it would, but let me hit resume. Okay, so I told it to resume, and now I'm doing 48 and 45. So again, my adaptive cruise control is going to pick up. Now if this guy here starts going slower, he starts going down to 30, it'll go right down to 30, but all I gotta do is switch lanes, and as soon as I switch lanes, it'll speed right back up to my cruise control that I set. It's a really nice setup. It's going to really come in handy on long trips on the interstate, because so not only is it help with the wheel driving, but it's going to help my cruise control, because you know how you come down a big hill and it picks up speed, or you go up a hill and someone in front of you is slower, so you got to hit your brakes or you got to pull your cruise off. But you don't have to do this with the adaptive cruise control. It's really cool. The other thing that it's got is this blind spot. So right there at the outer edge of this rear view mirror, you see a little blind spot warning logo. So that will actually light up if there's someone in my blind spot. The other thing it'll do is if I put my turn signal on, not only will it light up, it'll give me a beep 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 beep, an audible noise, so that I can hear it that, hey, there's someone in your blind spot. And it's a beep unlike any of the other beeps in this car. So it's really nice. It's the next step in blind spot warning is what it is. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video about the EV, and you can see why I really like it. Those are just some of the features that I'm finding as I'm using it that I really enjoy. Some of them I don't want to go back to anything else. I will say, currently, after having a vehicle, like I mentioned, 2,000 miles or so, the only thing that really bugs the crap out of me is when I leave it, it doesn't automatically lock. I have to hit the button, and I absolutely hate that, because I'm used to my Honda HR-V and it has an automatic lock on it. So I know if I'm somewhere, it'll automatically lock it. However, this does have, I do have an app for this EV, this Niro. And when I'm in someplace, it sends me a text message, hey, you know your car's unlocked, don't you? I'm like, oh crap. And I can remotely lock it from my app. So that's a pretty cool feature. I like that. Sometimes I just wonder if I lock it or not, and I double check it to see if it is locked. So that's a great feature. And also I do like the fact that I can charge it in the middle of the night and tell it what time of the day I want to charge it, because if you didn't know this, power rates fluctuate daily. And also depending on the season. Like right now, we're here in the middle of summer in Florida, and power rates between 9 p.m. and 8 a.m. are like half what it would be in the middle of the day, mostly because air conditioners are running in the middle of the day in the summer in Florida. So, but they're not running at night, so therefore my power bill is cheaper in the middle of the night. So that's when I charge my vehicle. So and 9 cents. I checked again. It's 9 cents per kilowatt hour. So basically, here's the math you could do. Compare my mileage to yours. If you're in a gas car, I'm getting almost 4 miles for 9 cents. Okay, that's what it's costing me. 4 miles for 9 cents. So I can go 40 miles. I can go, I can go 40 miles for 90 cents. Okay, if your car gets 40 miles per gallon, it's still costing you $3.85 per gallon, or whatever you're paying. It's costing me 90 cents for 40 miles. Well, if you got a hybrid, wow, it's still costing you $4 for, $3, say it's even $3 even, $3 per gallon, and you're getting 60 miles. Mine is costing me, at 60 miles, mine's costing me $1.30. So even your hybrid with that great gas mileage is still not even half what I'm paying. So it's just another great reason to go EV. And the biggest reason, I'm going to go ahead and plug this. One of the biggest reasons is right now used EVs are at their lowest prices ever. So you can come across a good used EV with 20,000 miles on it. It's only about 3 years old, and you're going to get another 10 years out of it because those batteries are lasting a lot longer than they thought they would. I'm just saying, they don't have to be replaced till I think it's 12 years old. And most of you don't own a car that's 12 years old. Seriously, most of you don't. So if you do, don't get me wrong, but most of you don't. So anyway, I'm gonna let you go. Be sure to like and subscribe and put some comments down below if you like this video. I'm gonna try to do some more because I need to get back out living the coolest life, EV edition.